Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Pitch. I'm Kristian Jack. My guest this week is rising star Tajon Buchanan. Now, Tajon has obviously had an unbelievable 2021. It's hard to believe that he hadn't even been capped by Canada going back to the start of this year, and actually was with the Olympic camp when he went to Mexico to try and qualify for Tokyo 2020. Now, remember this, Tajon Buchanan is a player that has since become an absolute star in our game, a player that is playing for the best team in Major League Soccer right now under Bruce Arena at the New England Revolution. And he's also a player that I've tracked for a number of years, ever since I saw him in the draft combine going ahead from MLS when he was leaving Syracuse University and playing for Sigma in League1 Ontario. Tajon's story is a fascinating one. I hope you enjoy this as we talk about being born in Brampton, his love for Toronto, going to watch Toronto FC games, what it was like returning to BMO Field wearing the red of Canada, but also in that dramatic game for New England Revolution when he scored that fantastic goal at BMO Field as well. We talk about the highs of the game, the true love that he's got now is signing for Brugge and going to play for a UEFA Champions League team soon, what he loves about playing for Canada, how he's improved his game. And we also talk about some other more important topics, like when he was racially abused online after scoring that monumental goal for Canada against Mexico in the Gold Cup semi-final. Tajon, as usual, a lot of my guests are like this, and I can't thank them enough, was very open and honest and showed different sides of the real side of him. You can see why mentally he has continued to make it to the very top. I can't thank him, Canada Soccer, and New England Revolution enough for the time. And anyway, enough of me. Here is my discussion with Tajon Buchanan. I hope you enjoy it. Tajon, an absolute pleasure to chat with you. It has been an unbelievable 2021, I would imagine, even by your own high standards. Do you sometimes wake up on mornings like this and think, how did it all happen so fast?
Yeah, definitely. That's always going through my mind. Just extremely thankful that everything is going the way I want it to go right now. And yeah, just trying to keep my head down right now and keep working hard.
Well, I think you mentioned that for a reason. I was going to get to that, but let's get it to you right now. Keep your head down. How important is that? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you're getting a lot more attention. A lot more people are finding out who Tajon Buchanan is. But you want to remain grounded through all of this, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. That's just the type of person I am. I'm always just trying to work towards, my goals and stuff like that, trying to reach those stuff and, trying to finish this season extremely strong and trying to win a trophy. And then when I go over to Belgium, stick to the basics. Also, again, keep my head down, work extremely hard and try and fight for a spot.
Fantastic attitude. We'll get to Belgium. We'll get to your 2021 accolades in Canada in a second, but I want to talk to you a little bit about you and your family background and your love for the sport. Brampton boy, born in 99, obviously lots of history in that wonderful place for soccer as well. But when did you start falling in love with the game, watching the game, really enjoying it?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I started playing, around like 8, 9 years old. Started taking it really serious around like 12, 11. And yeah, ever since I started playing, I always just fell in love with the game. I played other sports and stuff like that, but, soccer was always, my first love and something I wanted to do in the future. And, it's what I wanted to do as a job. I never really had anything else I wanted to do but soccer. So, just, work towards that. And I'm extremely thankful that, I am in the position where I am today and everything's going well.
So you knew from an early age what you wanted to do. When did you know that you could do? When did it start to hit you that you're thinking, I might be pretty good enough at this to try and make it a job?
I'd like to say, when I was in middle school, I always just had that mindset that I was going to make it. But I guess, once I got to high school, and I started really taking it serious, looking at colleges and stuff like that, that's when I kind of, wanted to take that next step and try and go pro. But yeah, like I said, ever since I was a kid, my dream was always to, play at a professional level and, do this as a job.
So you love to play it. Did you love watching it too? I know in Canada at that time, more games were starting to come on television. I know I did some of those as well at the Score and then obviously at TSN, but were you a soccer/football nut, or was it just mainly the playing angle that you enjoyed the most?
Yeah, both. Obviously, I watched a lot of European football, watched the Premier League and stuff like that. And, growing up, I followed Toronto FC because, that was my hometown team. I watched them quite a few. It's, I did watch a lot of soccer, but yeah, I did definitely enjoy playing it, a lot more.
So did you go to BMO when you were little?
I think I've been to one Toronto game in my life. I can't remember. I was a kid. But yeah, it might just be one.
Hey, one's okay. You've been to BMO Field a few more times since then, mate. a few more important things to do at BMO Field. So you mentioned the college route. You obviously chose Syracuse. What was it about that college that obviously enticed you to go there and continue your dream?
Yeah, just, there's a few Canadians on the team already when I was going on visits and, just exploring the school. And I saw they were doing well. It's a good environment. It was a good balance of, good social life and soccer. And then it was also close to home. My family could drive down and come watch games. And that was big for me, just because I did move to Colorado and, they didn't get the opportunity to watch me play for years. So going back closer to home was big. And the school, the campus, just all felt like home. And yeah, it's just my dream school to go to.
I was going to ask you about Colorado, an enormous move. What prompted that? Were you scared at moments? Like it's a big move for a young lad at that time, no?
Yeah. Scared. I don't know if I wasn't scared. It was, I just felt like I was giving up a lot, leaving friends back home, family, obviously. So it was a little tough at first, but, I was going with people I trusted and, people I call family today. So that was big. And, I felt a part of their family. So that was big for the move. And then at the end of the day, I was going there to, try and get a scholarship and trying to improve my football. So yeah, that helped obviously. And yeah, super, super good experience. And I think that helped me today, living alone and stuff without my family in Boston. And then obviously going over to Belgium. I've been living without my family for a while now. So it's okay.
Yeah, yet you're still only 22, so you had a long time to deal with it. Syracuse, what was that like? Because I remember speaking to Kamal Miller, and he tells me this kid, Tajon Buchanan, shows up, and no one's really talking about him, and there's all these other people talking about being stars and getting drafted, and this kid's he's like, this is Kamal talking, this kid's my boy, I'm going to take care of this kid, and then suddenly you just go to another level. But what was that like for you, being under the radar a little bit, a Canadian boy coming to a college like that, and then starting to really turn heads?
Yeah, obviously, I got recruited from an IB camp, obviously, so, I probably wasn't on the top of their recruiting list or anything like that. They probably had a few other guys that, they probably thought were better at the time, which is fine. I just kind of had that mindset, I wanted to be in school for, 1 or 2 years max. And if I was there after 2 years, then I was doing something wrong. So, from day one, I just had that mindset to, obviously be a team player and try and get better. But yeah, I was there to compete and try and earn that spot, because if I wasn't playing, the exposure I wouldn't be getting. So yeah, just having that mindset, and then obviously, having a guy like Kamal there, he was actually, I stayed with him on my official visit, so I got to know him early. Great guy, good friend of mine today, and yeah, just having an older figure from Canada also was huge. Adjusting to Syracuse.
That mindset that you talk about, Tajon, fully focused, knowing where you want to be, wanting to become a pro, 2 years max at college, knowing what you want to do. Where does that come from? Is it your parents? Is it just yourself? Did you always have it as a little boy? Did you learn to get it? What does it come from?
I think I just always had it as a kid. Whatever sport I was playing, I just always wanted to be the best. And yeah, I think probably came from my parents. But ever since a kid, I always just knew you got to work extremely hard if you want to achieve anything. So it always just stuck with me, and just the type of person I am, and I always just stood by that.
So you play at Syracuse. I remember you came back and played for Sigma. I remember a few of those games. I think Richie Larea's brother played, I think, in those games. Talking about CPL, where we are right now, a few, Anthony Novak was in a couple of those games you played against as well. What was that experience like to come back and play in those kind of environments?
Yeah, obviously being away in Colorado, I didn't get to experience League1, or, I kind of fell off the radar, and, I wasn't really following soccer in Ontario a lot. And then when I went to Syracuse and I was playing at Sigma in the summer, it was like, League1 was a great environment to go and play. It was, good competition at the time, obviously, because there wasn't CPL, a lot of talented players. And it was just like it was an environment that felt more pro. And, I enjoyed that. It was something I never experienced as a kid in Ontario, playing soccer. So playing for Sigma, it was big. Extremely thankful for that, and yeah, it definitely got me prepared and made me adjust a lot quicker to Syracuse.
And how, before I go back to you, how important now is it for young players 5, 6, 7 years younger than you that the Canadian Premier League exists? How important is that for the fabric of the culture of this country?
It's huge. I mean, there's a pro league now. Finally, there's something to work towards. That could be your first step, or that could be your last step. It doesn't matter. It's a professional league, and it's a league that's going to continue to grow. So yeah, having that in Canada now is super huge, and yeah, the future is definitely very exciting.
Let me take you to when you finished at university and you were going to MLS. I was there that day, the MLS Combine in Orlando Stadium, and there's a bunch of scouts there, and we're all talking about different players. And I remember I had like 4 players written down. You were one of my players I was written down just because of where you were from, and you were a Generation Adidas. And there was a lot of talk, by the way, that you might have been a number 1 pick in that draft. I remember watching you really well, and Chase Gasper played in that game that you were going up against him on the wing as well. What was that like as you tried to prove yourself then, and that whole experience that week to getting drafted by where you were supposed to be, but at the time seemingly quite lucky for New England to fall into your lap a little bit?
Yeah, a lot of different emotions about the Combine. It was a good experience for sure. I just think, you finish your college season and whatever, if you get knocked out in the NCAA tournament, it's like November. The Combine's not until, I don't know when it was, maybe sometime in December. So you're off, and then, being from Toronto, we go home into the winter, and then we travel to Orlando where it's heat. So it was a tough experience for sure. Fitness-wise, it was. But no, good experience. A lot of guys were able to showcase their abilities. A lot of guys, raise their stock in the draft and stuff like that. So yeah, extremely happy I was able to experience that. But yeah, the draft was a lot of different emotions. There was talks I was going to go number 1 and stuff like that. So I don't know where my head was at that game on that day. But I'm happy I did end up falling to New England, and I truly believe that was a spot I was supposed to go to, and it's extremely thankful.
I was telling somebody, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, because I'm wrong a lot, but I was telling somebody that day, that draft almost is a symbol of your life. Everyone says, Tajon Buchanan, I'm not sure. Let's skip. And then you end up being 9, and like 8 players go above. And that's a little bit like you and a lot of your Canadian teammates, is it not? You all have this story of people doubting you, that you come through and prove otherwise.
Exactly. No, definitely. A lot of teams did pass on me, 8 teams. So yeah, no, it's just something that happens. I was just wanted to prove everyone wrong at the end of the day. Happy I came to this club. Was able to really show my quality, and that was big. So yeah, no, extremely happy that I did end up here. And yeah, when it comes to Canadians, there's a lot of guys that are always overlooked, and we kind of just have to work twice as hard to get the respect that we deserve. For example, a guy like Alistair Johnson, I don't know what he went in his draft class, but what was it? It wasn't top 10, I'm not sure. But yes, top player. He's doing really well for Canada and Nashville. He's been proving a lot of people wrong for sure, because a lot of teams, passed on him also.
Yeah, outside the top 10. And I think we'll be following your path very soon to Europe, my friend, Alistair Johnston. What an individual he is, by the way. If you haven't heard that, anybody who's listening to this, you can go listen to my interview Beyond the Pitch with him last month. It was absolutely amazing. Your time in New England has been very beneficial for both yourself and the club, getting a player like you. What's it like playing under a legendary coach, Bruce Arena, and how much of an impact has he had on your progress?
Yeah, it just, he really drives it into you that you got to, bring your A game every day, training, games, stuff like that. Very supportive guy, and a guy that knows the game a lot, knows how to win games. And yeah, he's helped me a lot over these, 2.5 years that he's been coach. So yeah, extremely thankful to work under him. Hopefully we can finish the season on a high note and, lift a few trophies.
That would be great. I think some trophies are definitely in your very near future. Your team is very special right now. But let's go back. Sometimes you have to learn how to lose before you learn how to win. You had a great playoff run. You didn't win it all, but you shocked a few people last year, going through Philly, going through Orlando, and running Columbus really close. You scored in that first game at Philly as well. What was that entire experience like to get true, meaningful matches at that time of year?
Yeah, it was huge. Obviously, we were one of the lower seeds. We knew in the locker room that we were a good team. There's definitely better teams in MLS at the time. Philly was one of them that beat us many times in the regular season. But playoffs is a whole different story. It's one game. It's do or die. And once we got the confidence to win that first playoff game against Montreal, we went on a roll. And then once we beat Philly, they were the best team in MLS at the time. So it's a learning process and something that we definitely understand in our position today because we're doing really well, but come playoffs, it's do or die. So we got to be prepared for that and stay focused for 90 plus minutes and stuff like that. But no, being able to experience that was huge, and getting those playoff matches and playing in an Eastern Conference final was huge.
I remember the Montreal game, broadcasting it, the Gustavo Bo rocket at the end, an absolute thriller for you, I'm sure. Let's move on to 2021, Tajon. What a year this is. I mean, many people won't have as many impactful experiences in a career that you've had in 9 months. I mean, many people listening to this now are starting to know your story, won't even realize that you hadn't even been capped before 2021. You go to the Olympic camp first to play in the Concacaf qualifiers in Guadalajara. You performed so well in El Salvador. What was that moment like then when you were probably thinking you're good enough for the international caps already, but you got to go in the Olympic camp? What was that experience like, first of all, to put that Canada shirt on and play with the younger players a little bit? You're a young player like yourself, but younger players.
No, that was huge. Obviously, never being with the national team program. I think they really got me involved in the right way, going with the 23s at the time and getting those games in, becoming familiar with the culture and, the tactics and stuff like that was huge. It just made the transition into the, obviously the full team a lot easier. I knew I could be with the full team at the time when I was with the 23s, but I think, from adjusting and learning tactics and stuff like that, going with the 23s was the right thing to do, and obviously that worked out. Extremely thankful and happy for that. Moving on to the first team, it was nice and a dream come true to get my first cap. Back in whenever it was, March or whatever.
Yeah, March indeed. Not that long ago, and here you are now as being one of the star players for the men's national team with the World Cup qualifiers. What's this been like, this journey for you? These games are coming thick and fast again. It's I don't know this, but I see it as an outsider. It feels like you guys have got the camaraderie and emotions of a club team. No, when you get together, that not every international team has that, but because the games have come so close and you've got so many friendships and bonds together, what's it like when you go back to join your teammates for Canada?
Yeah, it's huge. It's very nice. We all come. There's a lot of guys, obviously, from the GTA and the Toronto area for sure. So being able to see them, and then guys coming from Europe, it's a bond that is very close, and it's a brotherhood, and something I'm very happy to be a part of. Always going away and competing and fighting for Canada is the best thing. Right now, we're doing well. Obviously, another window coming up, and hopefully we can, pick up some wins there. It's always very nice, to go away and play with those guys.
We did your games on OneSoccer for the Gold Cup, and obviously now OneSoccer and Sportsnet as well. That Gold Cup experience was, I would imagine, an experience that stays with you forever. No, your first major tournament, you play a massive role and you score the goal in the semifinal against Mexico. First of all, what was that experience like to get that goal and the entire month coming together like that as a group?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you work for. As a kid, you always dream of scoring for your country. To get that first goal was, a dream come true. To just experience that tournament was huge. Play with, those guys and stuff like that. A tournament that we did well in. We could have easily, I believe we could have easily won that tournament. I experienced that was huge. Scoring my first goal obviously was a dream come true, and it just made me feel a lot more comfortable and adjust to the national team level a lot easier. And extremely happy I was able to obviously get called into that team and experience that.
Tajon, in that tournament, you played, and for Canada, you played so many different positions already. You know, you've been asked to play fullback, you can play left side, you can play right, you switch to the left at BMO for a little bit as well. You play in the right and the left wing. How has your game evolved during that time to allow you to do that? Like, what do you know now that you didn't necessarily know 3, 2, 4 years ago?
Yeah, you got to play both sides of the ball. Obviously, I'm a good attacker. I want to go at guys 1v1, but also focusing on my defensive, abilities and stuff like that, and trying to keep clean sheets for the team. That has allowed me to transition into, those wing back positions, right back, left wing back, whatever it is. And then obviously with my, attacking threats, I'm able to play, up top or, high on the wings. So that's helped my game a lot and made me understand that you got to play both sides of the ball. And, that's obviously helped me a lot getting on the field.
And when you see players like Alphonso Davies doing that, I'd imagine that it's pretty easy for everybody else to buy in, no? If you've got the best player like that committing and you're doing the same?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously a top player, a player that leads by example, for sure. So having him on our side is huge. And extremely thankful and happy that I'm able to play with him and obviously learn from him.
Your game has taken your name and your headlines to a different level. And when you scored that goal in the Gold Cup, we were so happy and thankful to continue to get your name out there and talk about it. But there was issues after that game, wasn't there, with the racism and the posts after the game, and obviously you turning off your comments. How difficult was that for you? And on a positive, my friend, how are we doing as a game? How are we doing as an industry covering this? I know the Black Lives Matters and what they've done and the Black Lives Players for Change and what everyone's done in MLS has been a wonderful movement. But how are we standing here in 2021, in your opinion, to try and help that?
Yeah, obviously it was an unfortunate, situation, scoring, my first goal and then, going back into the locker room and seeing stuff like that. It's crazy the world we live in that's still happening in 2021, like you said. It's something that shouldn't be in our world. I think Canada Soccer was very supportive about that. Coming up with a statement and stuff like that. But it wasn't just me. It was my teammates also that were receiving those comments and stuff like that. So it was very unfortunate to see. It's not needed, and it shouldn't be in our world today for sure.
Yeah, well said. And thanks for letting me bring it up. It almost brings tears to my eyes, to be honest, mate. And I just want you to know people like me appreciate and love you for people who look like you. And we're all together in this, okay? I just wanted you to know that. Hey, listen, what's it been like in these World Cup qualifiers? Because 3 games came quickly, the last round, 3 games have come quickly now. There's a genuine feeling, is there not, both when you're playing and when you're spending lots of time together, that this is real mission that can happen. This Qatar 2022 is not a fantasy, not a dream. It's a realistic proposition for this team.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's everyone's on the same page. We're here to win. We're not here to just be happy that we're here finally in this next round. We're here to win games and qualify for the World Cup, and that mission is clear in the group, and everyone knows what it's going to take. We got to keep it game by game, keep working extremely hard, and hopefully keep picking up crucial wins, and that's going to help us in the end of the day to qualify. And
how much do you like enjoying playing at BMO? I know that last game that it got a bit feisty. By the way, I don't know how they made to keep 11 players on the pitch, whether they're kicking you and elbowing you and you're getting involved in it a little bit. But John Herdman gave you a bit of credit, man, for sticking up to him. Was that fun?
Yeah, no, it was nice. Obviously, playing in front of your home fans is huge. Something that we missed with the whole pandemic and stuff like that, not being in Canada that whole year and a half or whatever it was. Having fans back in the stadiums was huge, these games they're wild for sure. I mean, the game was very aggressive. Our last game, definitely a few missed calls, just keep my head in it a little more and don't pick up silly yellow cards for sure.
Yeah, just put those fingers to your ears, mate, when you got the dodgy calls going on, right, with the celebration, and you get your goal. Hey, listen, you've been great with your time. I've just got a couple more minutes for a quick rapid-fire Q&A at the end of it here, if you don't mind. The first question is actually, I'm going to answer it first, and you might have a different one. First question is favorite goal you've ever scored. And my favorite goal you ever scored actually was recently that absolute thunderbolt of a header at BMO in the South section when you probably had about 100 fans there from family and friends all cheering you on. What was that like? And do you have another one? What's your other favorite goal that you think about when you think about your career so far?
Yeah, for sure. That's up there because it was in front of my, friends, family, didn't get to play in front of them for a very long time. And obviously being back in Canada and back in Toronto was just, a perfect story for sure. But, what's up there is obviously the Mexico goal, scoring my first goal for Canada in a big game. So that was special.
That feeling when the ball goes in the net and all those Mexicans are cheering and going to go at you, that adrenaline rush must be something you just want back. No, it's like a drug. Yeah. Surely you want that back. No, right away, contagious.
Yeah, no, it's a nice feeling. Obviously, the stadium was probably sold out, and they were all silenced after that. So, yeah, it was a good feeling.
Next one, favorite stadium you've ever played at?
BMO Field.
Good answer. Favorite stadium you have yet to play at? A stadium you look on and you see on a video game or watching a game around the world, you can't wait to play at one day.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's going to be probably a stadium in Europe. But right now I'm looking very forward to playing in obviously Club Brugge home stadium.
Love that answer. That was the next question. What was it about Bruges? I've been to Bruges and I love the river and the chocolate, but what was it about Bruges that pulled you in to love it so much?
Yeah, no, it's definitely the club for sure. Going into a family that, is very supportive and, it's a team that definitely feels like a family. Winning culture for sure was up there for me. And it was just a culture that is willing to, push me and obviously, take care of me and push me to keep improving as a player and a person.
How hard was it, that process? What was the hardest part of that process for you?
Hardest part? Hardest part was probably just, trying to find the perfect team. Obviously I had options. Not a lot of players have options like that, but I had options and, you're picking for your future, obviously, and you don't want to make the wrong decision or anything like that. But obviously I'm not there yet. And wherever I was going to go, I was going to work extremely hard. But Club Brugge was definitely, the one that was in my heart from the beginning. And extremely happy.
Great answer. I'm glad you didn't say anything about keeping your form in MLS because it didn't even look like it even bothered you. You're outstanding. You can answer this question however you want. Best or favorite teammate?
Best or favorite teammate? I mean, from a friendship standpoint, because I have close friends here, I became really close with Richie on the national team. So, a guy that I look up to and I'm very close with now.
Like that answer. Best opponent, best player you've ever played against?
Ever played against? It's probably really good players. I'm going to say it was Nani in the playoffs last year. It just, I had to be on a whole nother level with my game. And, it was a game I was looking extremely forward to playing from the right back position. He was left wing. So, yeah.
I remember that. You did great. Favorite sport to watch other than soccer? Basketball. That probably answers the next question. Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, or none?
None.
Raptors guy?
Raptors guy for sure. I don't mind Patriots, because I don't really watch football.
Okay, there you go. Patriots it is. But your Raptors, when they won the championship, that was pretty special for you.
Yeah.
Love it. What's your favorite show to watch right now?
Money Heist.
Say again. Sorry, I lost that. What was that one?
Money Heist.
Good one. Good show to recommend.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Favorite cheat food?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite pizza topping? No, not interested in pizza.
I like pizza. Pizza's up there for me, but not just regular pepperoni or whatever.
Okay, nice. And have you had any Belgian chocolates yet?
Have not.
Okay, well, you're probably not allowed to eat too many, but there's some pretty special ones in Bruges. Last one for you, and this doesn't have to be a quick one. What would it mean to you and your family for Tajon Buchanan and Canada to make it to Qatar 2022?
I think that's huge, not just for my family, myself, the national team. It's, for the country. That we'd be taking a whole nother step, in this country when it comes to soccer. So yeah, that would mean honestly the world for everyone. If we can achieve that, which I believe we can, it's going to be huge, and yeah, can't wait to do it.
Can't wait to see you do it, my friend. Hey, listen, you're a shining light in this team. An absolute wonderful success story, not just in Canadian soccer, but in Canadian sports. More and more people are asking people about you, me about you, other people about you. I can't wait to tell those stories. And I can't thank you enough for sharing a little bit more into your heart and your mind today. Thanks again, Tajon.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for Tajon, and thanks so much for you for listening and watching so far. I'm sure you enjoyed it, and I hope, like me, you found it fascinating and another insight into what Tajon Buchanan is like as an individual, as a young man, and certainly as a footballer. You can see he's going a very long way, and we are very lucky to have him here in Canada. If you are new to Beyond the Pitch, please check out and subscribe to our newsroom podcast and see what many of my guests have said in the past. If you're interested in further Canadian soccer conversations, you can go back and listen to past Beyond the Pitch episodes that were really, truly fascinating, just like Tajon's chat. Great chats with the likes of Alistair Johnson, Richie Larea, Jonathan Osorio, Samuel Piet, Maxime Crepeau, Kamal Miller, and Marc-Anthony Kaye. What a monumental week it is for Canada soccer as they go to Estadio Azteca to play Mexico live on OneSoccer on Thursday, followed by the trip to Jamaica on Sunday, and then back home against Panama at BMO Field on the 13th of October. I hope you're enjoying the ride. This is a special time to be a Canadian soccer fan. Thanks again for watching and listening. Take care of yourself. God bless. I hope you and your families are well, and I'll speak to you soon.